Let me pose a question. With changing consumer demands, new legislation, more expensive and sophisticated automobiles, how does a company stay up to date and in touch with today's automotive marketplace?
Through teamwork, Mercedes-Benz teamwork. On behalf of more than 180,000 people representing Daimler-Benz worldwide, we join with you in addressing this task. After all, you represent Mercedes-Benz to the most important individuals you or I will meet in business today, the Mercedes-Benz owner. Market studies show that owners chose a Mercedes-Benz because they were looking for a well-made, durable and reliable automobile backed by superior service. We recognize our responsibility to strive to produce the finest automotive product line in the world. But this effort lacks any meaningful impact unless it is accompanied by the finest service available. And we know that when our product falls short of the owner's expectation, it is the dealer, supported by Mercedes-Benz of North America, who can make the difference. When cars are not manufactured or serviced properly, we all pay, not only in dollars, but in wasted time and frustration as well. We pay an even greater price when owners take their business elsewhere. While a recent J.D. Power survey shows that Mercedes-Benz and its dealers are presently doing an excellent job of providing service for our owners, higher customer expectation and increasing competition mean we must continue to improve. How important is this? When the owner of a Mercedes-Benz that was purchased new replaces it with another new Mercedes-Benz, we refer to this as repurchase loyalty. This type of transaction is a key to our future success. In fact, the most recent market studies have shown that Mercedes-Benz has the highest level of repurchase loyalty in the automobile industry. 65% of those who owned a Mercedes-Benz bought another when replacing that vehicle. When you also consider that it would cost 6 times more to locate and sell a product to a new prospect than it does to retain a present owner, satisfying customers just makes good business sense. Our common goal must be to provide the best possible product and service for the Mercedes-Benz owner. Today, we are going to examine some of the challenges which exist for all of us in this commitment to excellence. How do we consistently achieve this objective and prevent those situations when an owner seems to fall through the cracks? How do we design an organization and procedures which ensure that vehicles with difficult to diagnose service problems are repaired and that those repairs are documented properly? If we do not address these questions in today's business environment, we may find ourselves in an unfortunate position with our owners, in court. This program will examine some of the legal remedies available to automobile owners today, and more importantly, present an action plan with practical suggestions on how we as a team can satisfy our owners and thereby assure our future success.
We are all consumers, purchasing products from which we expect good service. Therefore, we can understand the need for legislation which offers us protection when things go wrong. Legal remedies come in 2 general types. First, legislation under which a consumer who purchases defective goods of any kind may bring suit for breach of warranty. We will discuss 3 types of warranty. They are express, implied, and the warranty of fitness for a particular purpose. An express warranty is a definitely stated promise concerning the quality of the goods sold. This promise then becomes part of the basis of the bargain made between the buyer and the seller. A manufacturer's promise in the new car warranty that the car will be free of defects for 4 years or 50,000 miles is an example of an express warranty. The implied warranty of merchantability basically states that the product will work in the way a reasonable person expects it should. And these warranties are implied by law and attached to the sale of all goods. For example, a wrench does not ordinarily come with a written guarantee, but if it snapped the first time you tried to turn a bolt with it, you could have a claim for breach of the implied warranty of merchantability. This is because when used normally, you can reasonably expect a wrench to turn a bolt without breaking. The warranty of fitness for a particular purpose comes about when a buyer tells a merchant of a special use he plans for the product and relies on the seller's skill and judgment in making the selection. For instance, if a customer told a salesperson that he needed a vehicle to tow a 7,500-pound trailer and purchased a certain model based on the salesperson's judgment, a warranty of fitness for a particular purpose may exist. Under all of these warranties, the dealer or retail seller of the goods could be sued in case of a breach. Another kind of legal remedy available to the automobile consumer is the Lemon Law. This legislation, originally acted in 1982 in Connecticut, was designed to protect the automobile consumer against the loss of use, value, or safety in their new car due to the failure to cure any warranty defects in a timely fashion. Lemon laws state that the automobile purchaser may be entitled to either a replacement vehicle or a refund if a particular problem covered under the warranty cannot be repaired after a certain number of attempts, or if the total number of days the car has been out of service for any warranty repairs exceeds a certain number. While today over 40 states have enacted lemon laws, each state's law is unique, and although differences exist, there are three elements common to all lemon laws. They are the statutory period, the number of repair attempts, and the total downtime. Let's look first at the statutory period. This refers to the limitations of time and mileage during which the automotive consumer can bring suit. For example, a particular state may have a statutory period of 2 years and 24,000 miles. This means that a consumer can seek legal recourse if the vehicle was first retailed within the last 2 years and has up to 24,000 miles on the odometer. Second, the number of repair attempts. This element refers to the total number of times that a car has been made available to the dealership for repairs of the same complaint. The third common element is the total downtime. This refers to the total number of days during which the vehicle is unavailable to the customer while the dealer is attempting to diagnose or repair warranty problems. And unlike the criteria for the number of repair attempts, total downtime is cumulative time, regardless of the particular symptom. And this means that you add up all the days the car was out of service due to any warranty repairs, whether related or not. When either the cumulative downtime or the number of repair attempts for the same problem specified under your state's lemon law is reached, the customer may be entitled to a refund or a replacement automobile. You will receive with this program a summary of the three common elements incorporated in all lemon laws in effect at the time this program was produced. Although lemon law legislation holds the manufacturer primarily responsible, there are provisions under the lemon laws in some states that can make the dealer liable as well. Finally, a word of caution. This material is provided only to give you some idea of the differences that exist among lemon laws in various states. All laws are subject to change. Your dealership's attorney must be consulted for specific legal advice and information concerning any of the current state legislation. Before we take a few moments to review the material supplied with this program, consider this. More than 70% of consumers surveyed who experienced problems with goods or services never complained to anyone about their disappointments. And of those people, 91% would not purchase the same goods or services again. And now, let's review the material supplied with this program so that you can become more familiar with the legislation enacted in your state. Consumer legislation and the expectations that created them are here to stay. And when you consider the complexity and cost of today's automobiles, this is both understandable and consistent with the intent and purpose of the laws we've just described. Now, let's get the perspective from someone with considerable experience in automotive litigation.
After 6 years of lemon law legislation, I've handled dozens of warranty and lemon law suits and have found two things. First, most were preventable if someone from the dealership or the manufacturer had taken the time to properly identify the problem and reassure the customer. And secondly, the case can be won or lost with the documentation, especially the repair order. Here's a case I've just finished working on. While I can't discuss all the specifics, I can give you some of the background information. This particular client was a friend of mine who initially approached me at a party, and she told me about the difficulty she was having with her new car and the inability of the dealer to find the problem and repair it. I advised her, as a friend, that in my experience, cooperation rather than confrontation is generally the fastest, most economical way to get results. And let's face it, when they want to, the dealer and the manufacturer are better equipped than the courts to fix a car. She decided to give them another chance and keep me advised.
And what was the result?
3 weeks later, she came to my office ready to try confrontation. The decision to pursue litigation can be psychological as well as economic, and the way the customer is treated has a great deal to do with this decision. I've found that clients with the strongest motivation to sue are those who feel that they may have been taken advantage of based on the treatment they received from the dealer or the manufacturer.
So your first point is that either the dealer or the manufacturer must get involved to identify the problem and reassure the customer.
Oh, yeah. And my second point is that the case can be won or lost with the documentation. So let's take a look at what I had to work with. Here's the first repair order. It states, "Car is sluggish." Underneath it, the dealer noted that no problem found. The second RO says, "The engine doesn't perform properly." The service advisor evidently wrote down my client's complaint without asking any questions. This is so vague that I'm not sure how the technician diagnosed the problem. They apparently replaced one injector. Maybe the service manager should have contacted the manufacturer at this point. On the third repair order, the service advisor wrote, "Engine runs rough, still not fixed. Check fuel system." It appears that something called the fuel distributor was replaced and the notation was made, "Engine runs okay." At this point, my client felt that the shop was guessing and that they were more interested in keeping her away from the dealership than in fixing her automobile. After all of this, the problem still existed, and at my client's insistence, the car was road tested with her as a passenger. During the extended road test, the original problem was confirmed. This is the way the final RO was written up. "Engine develops severe hesitation after 10 minutes of stop-and-go driving. Problem occurs intermittently under load." The dealer kept the car for over a week without informing my client of what was being done. She finally decided enough was enough. We based our case on both breach of warranty and the lemon law. What my client won was what she should have had in the first place, a car that works.
How did she feel at this point?
She has flatly stated that she will neither patronize the dealer nor consider purchasing that brand of automobile again in the future.
That brings us to the key question. How can we work together to prevent a situation in which we lose our most precious asset, a satisfied owner, even if we win a lawsuit? Now let's see how one Mercedes-Benz service department addresses this challenge. This dealership was designed from the ground up for efficient daily operation. Dealership personnel make the best use of this facility by incorporating the dealer's computer system with specialized management programs based on the Mercedes-Benz service concept. Let's look at how the morning is progressing in the service department.
Well, listen,
We find the service advisor in a familiar situation on the telephone. As a matter of fact, the advisors working at this dealership may actually spend more time on the telephone, especially as it relates to the appointment process, than advisors in other area dealerships. This is because they found that time well spent on the phone when setting up the appointment can actually save time when the owners arrive. Let's listen in.
Install the tires in the trunk, and check sliding roof does not open. Anyone worked on a sliding roof before? No? Okay. What time before 10:30 a.m. would be most convenient to drop the car off on that day? Fine. I made a 9:30 a.m. appointment for you. We'll call you on Tuesday afternoon just prior to writing the repair order. This will save you time on Wednesday morning. And if you think of anything else we should be aware of, you can let us know at that time. Yeah. Thank you for calling.
This dealership has adopted a policy of always asking owners if a problem with the vehicle under warranty has been worked on by anyone in the past. This enables them to more effectively plan the diagnosis or repair procedures. They're able to review previous repair or diagnosis attempts before starting to work on the vehicle. After the owner advises whether or not the problem has been worked on in the past, this is noted on the repair order and the owner is asked to sign it, acknowledging its accuracy. Now, let's take a look at how things are progressing in the drive-through lanes this morning. We can see that even though there's a working appointment system controlling the bulk of the morning rush, there are still cars waiting in line which must be written up. Most of these owners are on their way to work. They're probably thinking about the meeting at 9:30 or an important call coming in at 10:45. They might even be preoccupied with issues concerning patients, clients, relatives, or friends. Your task in service is to focus the owner's attention on the service transaction long enough to enable you to thoroughly understand their wishes and needs. To help ensure that a sufficient amount of time is spent with each owner, this dealership utilizes an appointment system which spreads arrival times whenever possible.
Hi, this is Dan from 3-Star.
They pre-call all appointments to remind owners of the appointment time and review the instructions documented on the initial appointment record.
All right. We bet we'll see you then.
When this is completed, they're able to pre-print repair orders on the afternoon prior to the appointment date. This form and the service history are filed alphabetically in a tub located in the drive-through reception area. To streamline the reception process, this dealership utilizes a greeter to direct the flow of traffic. A service advisor dedicated to those owners with appointments, and a second advisor who deals with customers without appointments and handles the more complex problems. The greeter's job is to promptly acknowledge the owner's arrival, ask for the person's name, and if the person has an appointment, pull the pre-printed RO and service history from the tub. He verifies the basic information, enters the mileage, and directs the owner to the appropriate service advisor.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
This advisor's primary responsibility is to expedite the reception process for those owners with appointments. He reviews the repair order, makes any minor changes to the document, and if the vehicle is under warranty, determines if any of the symptoms noted have been worked on by a dealer in the past. The advisor concludes by thoroughly inspecting the vehicle.
I just need a signature right here, if you would, please.
He then asks the owner to sign the repair order and offers one of his business cards to make it easier for the individual to contact him during the day.
The car will be done today.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Owners appreciate this kind of professionalism because it gets them on their way with a minimum of time loss. By quickly handling repair orders which were pre-confirmed and pre-written accurately, this dealership is able to spend more time with owners whose vehicles have complex problems.
Okay, Mr. Benton, you're still living at 34 Rutherford Place?
Exactly, the same place I've been living the last 2 years.
This gentleman is bringing his vehicle back for the second time with the same complaint. As soon as the greeter properly identifies the owner as someone requiring special attention, he directs the individual to pull the vehicle out of the drive-through lane and park it in front of the second service advisor's office.
And into the stalls.
greeter introduces the advisor to the owner and then returns to the drive-through lanes to continue work on the bulk of the morning's service arrivals. The advisor asks the right questions in order to clarify the owner's complaint. He then returns to his office to further review the service history and pages a diagnosis and quality control specialist.
I'm going to get a test technician in here. John Wilson to Jim Bennett's office, please.
This individual, referred to as a test technician, expedites the diagnostic process by providing hands-on technical expertise whenever the advisors need it. It is not necessary to hire a test technician to perform these functions. Depending on the dealership size and staffing, it might be performed by the service manager, shop foreman, or other personnel. The test technician arrives, greets the owner, briefly discusses the complaint, reviews the service history, and leaves to road test the car with the owner. The owner is able to spend the time necessary to test drive the vehicle with the test technician because the advisor requested that he do so when he initially phoned for an appointment. He also noted the test drive on the appointment record so that the test technician was available when the owner arrived. After the test drive, if a problem is detected, the vehicle can be brought to the Special Systems Checkout Bay. Here, the test technician can initiate the diagnosis. He will keep the advisor informed so that he can communicate directly with the owner as necessary. If an unusually difficult problem or special circumstances dictate, it may be necessary to have the service manager contact the zone office.
Okay, Mr. Martin, this is how it works. Your air conditioning setting only works on 2 buttons.
In some cases, the owner's problem may not be due to a technical malfunction, but rather to a misunderstanding about the operation of a particular feature. If this should prove to be the case, it's important to take the time to review the correct operation with the owner and to answer all of his or her questions. In addition, fully document the original complaint as well as the resolution and keep this information on file. The better your documentation, the better prepared you'll be to handle any future questions. Let's review what we just saw. The best way to prepare for the repair of a vehicle returning more than once for the same complaint is to ask the right questions. This should be done when the appointment is established so that you can make whatever arrangements are necessary. Communicate with the appropriate personnel, such as the service manager, prior to the customer's arrival. A copy of the service history should be reviewed. The best time to do this is during the appointment telephone call. This will enable you to clarify the appointment information. It is critical that you clarify and verify the owner's complaints. There may be nothing wrong with the vehicle that a thorough explanation and reassurance could not resolve. Or if a problem does exist, it should be verified and documented on the repair order. Any time that a customer has advised you that the vehicle has been worked on repeatedly or for extended periods of time, the service manager should be alerted to the situation. This gives him the opportunity to make whatever arrangements are necessary to ensure that the car is repaired, such as requesting MBNA assistance. Clarifying and verifying complaints may involve a test drive with the owner. Be sure to advise the owner at appointment time that you will need to spend sufficient time with the individual to duplicate the complaint. If you're unable to duplicate the complaint, this should be explained to the owner and noted on the repair order. Remember to include important information. This is what will be needed if anyone, including your dealership's attorney, should want to review the service history at some time in the future. An example of such important information might be a complaint. Owner states vehicle stalls after driving in stop-and-go traffic for 10 minutes. Test drove vehicle with owner for 15 minutes in stop-and-go traffic, and vehicle did not stall. Owner will notify if complaint reoccurs. Then ask the owner to sign the repair order and give the individual a copy for his or her records. Note, the service advisor should not attempt to diagnose a problem based on a symptom which has not been verified. This is because if you mention that there might be a problem in a component such as a transmission based on the symptom, the customer may always fear transmission problems even though none ever existed. Next, OK completed repairs and verify the effectiveness of those repairs. Document on the RO the length of the road test, as well as any other relevant information which may be needed in the future. The critical consideration relative to the test drive is that the person who originally verified the complaint be the one to confirm that it has been corrected. Whenever necessary, the vehicle should be test-driven with the owner at the time of delivery, and those results should also be noted on the repair order. Example: test drove vehicle in stop-and-go traffic for 15 minutes with owner. Automobile performed satisfactorily. Notify the owner as soon as work is completed, or notify MBNA if assistance is required. The owner should be contacted as soon as the vehicle is ready for delivery. The time of the notification, as well as the person contacted, should be noted on the repair order for reference in the future. Even though we refer to the notification of MBNA personnel at the end of this process, it may very well occur as soon as the vehicle arrives. Having the information on the field assistance request form readily available will expedite action. Your MBNA representative will advise your service manager of specific procedures in place for quick action in your zone. No procedure involving owner satisfaction would be complete without telephone follow-up. This control presents you with your final opportunity to evaluate the effectiveness of the services provided. It is recommended that the telephone log noting responses be retained in your files during the extent of the new car warranty. The customer's responses will be helpful for future reference should questions arise. The recommendations you've just heard are not entirely new. Elements of the action plan have been recommended previously and are currently utilized by many Mercedes-Benz dealers across the country. However, the current legal climate poses special challenges. Implementation of this action plan, coupled with MBNA support, will help to ensure that we minimize our legal exposure by satisfying our owners' expectations.
This program has provided you with an overview of the legal and business environment that exists today. We have also given you an action plan with practical suggestions on how we can better serve the Mercedes-Benz owner. Our future, which depends on satisfied owners, is an exciting one. The talents of our dealer organization, combined with the resources of Mercedes-Benz of North America, will enable us to strengthen our commitment to provide service that is unparalleled in the automotive industry.